Welcome to the world of oval racing, where you usually see purpose-built race cars race around tracks at 300 kilometres per hour. This is V8 Supercars, Australia's premier racing category, transformed to race on some of the most famous tracks in the world of motorsport: Daytona, Homestead, Miami and Talladega, just to name a few. The sound of 600 plus horsepower, roaring around ovals at breakneck speed. Door-to-door, three-wide action. There are always crashes. And don't forget, get ready for the big one. Where, just like real motorsport, tempers will flare and blood pressure will rise. There can only be one winner, and the rest will be left licking their wounds until next week. So strap yourself in, this is going to be a bumpy ride. This is the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCARS eSeries.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the InterSim Esports Network for your Sunday night. We are RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCARS eSeries Racing. Your location tonight is Phoenix Raceway. We are back on the oval courses tonight. Of course, myself, Aidan Schultz. Joining me in the booth is Paul Jackson. Good evening to you, my friend.
Good evening, Aidan, and everyone tuning in with us tonight. And yeah, back for another round, round 7, I believe, at Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, round 7. We come off the Miami road course last week, which actually showed some really good racing. Cade Donnelly led the way early in that one again, and exactly what he's found in the road courses that we've seen earlier in the championship and last year. He made that mistake, and that allowed Justin Witcher to get the W. So, yeah, unfortunate there for Cade. But we go back to the world of oval racing tonight. So it's going to be the Sim Boys racing cars. We'd strongly suggest that they're going to be up the front of this one, Paul. But in saying that, the Pinnacle Esports racing driver of Raymond Yeager's up the top at the moment with a 27.47 through practice.
Yeah, Raymond looking very fast tonight. Justin Witcher there as well in P3. But Sammy K's right up there in the mix as well in P2, as I just mentioned. It's Cade Donnelly there just jumping up into second in practice as well. But
Dwayne Priest just has a little bit of a date with the outside wall out of 2 there too, as we just see.
Yeah, so I did manage to turn a few laps here just before we went.
Oh, you did a sneaky couple of laps, Paul.
Oh, I did, and no one saw me on track either. But I did have a bit more pace than a few guys out there too.
Are you saying that's probably a good thing? Are you saying that's probably a good thing they didn't see you on track? Because we did a bit of practice for a Bathurst 1000 we got coming up, and I don't know. I'm not as comfortable as you are. Maybe I'm not feeling very confident going into that one, but hopefully you're getting those bugs out tonight and trying to put your best foot forward, because we're going to need everything for the Bathurst 1000. But, mate, good to see you quick in the practice session. Where'd you end up? How was your time as we're about to go into qualifying?
Well, I was running around the low 28s to the high 27s, I reckon. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, not getting a draft or anything there, but tyre wear is going to be a big thing tonight, and fuel will definitely come into play, I reckon. So fuel, I was noticing, was about 1.1 litres to a lap. So if you manage to sit there in the draft under a litre a lap, you're going to go further on laps than what the tank will do.
Yeah, definitely. Phoenix Raceway is a different track, and the way that iRacing's changed it in the last couple of months, you could see now you've just changed the images, but the way you see Phoenix Raceway, it is a 3-turn course, and usually the start-finish line was coming down out of turn number 2, whereas now the start-finish line's pretty much coming out of turn number 3. So it's a different racetrack, and that's going to be definitely different here with how this starts and restarts are going to go. Because as you see now, we're on board with the Doritos car there of Ian Class. He just goes across the start-finish line. Historically, that was out of turn number 1, but that is the final turn at the moment. Ian Class, and you see he's running on the outside there. You'll see a lot of drivers run on the inside of the track, as he goes his way around turn number 3, but you'll see through turn number 2, they'll go down below the yellow. But it is Scotty Rankin at the top at the moment, Paul, with a 27.45. Sam Katakuzanos there in second with a 27.51. Raymond Yeager in the third position with the 27.63. Raymond Yeager coming off a solid P3 this morning in the Open Truck Series. He's going to want to look to back up that one tonight. I need to have a little bit of self-promotion as we're 2 minutes 20 into the qualifying session. I come off a win this morning in the Open Truck session, beating Jason Holdsworth and Raymond Yeager coming P3. But that's as far as my self-promotion goes tonight. But Raymond Yeager sitting there in third, Dwayne Priest fourth, Gary Wellman in fifth. Gregory Spencer in sixth, Andy Barber in seventh. Andy comes off a fourth place this morning. Sean Hart in
speaking
eighth.
of Andy there, Aiden, I had a bit of a chat with Peter Manson, the sponsor, the main sponsor there for RayWhite Rural Gayndah for the Australasian SUPERCARS eSeries, and Pete Manson there thinks that Andy Barber's got the chockies for tonight.
Oh, he's all on Andy Barber. So, Andy, if you are tuning into the broadcast, because I know Brian Jr. tuning into the broadcast, he is definitely on the Andy Barber bandwagon tonight. So, interesting to see there that Pete Matson's on the Andy Barber train. So, Andy Barber might have something that we don't know tonight here around Phoenix, but at the moment through qualifying, he's got a lot to get because he's in 10th position at the moment as Justin Witcher. He's definitely having a great series. He is a defending champion, and he's just making it harder for these guys every single time he comes out, because he comes out and he puts it on pole tonight provisionally. He won last round. He's won a couple. He's quite a fair way in front in the championship standings, but he's doing everything possible to be able to take home the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCARS eSeries for the second time in contention tonight.
Well, with
not
40
tonight,
seconds
but in general.
to go, let's have a look at those points before we get into our grid.
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll go through the championship standings. So coming into this round at Phoenix, it is Justin Witcher at the top, your reigning champion with 203 points. He's got quite a significant margin there over Scott Rankin. He's on 188 points, I believe. Cade Donnelly there in third with 182. Gary Wellman there, with 160. Gary Wellman actually hasn't been able to race a couple of rounds. Raymond Yeager sitting there on 172. You can go through and find where your favourite driver is, but definitely Justin Witcher doing everything at the top at the moment to try and go back-to-back in the championship.
And I just need to reload here as the results are just bugged out as they've switched over to the starting grid. So give us one moment, we'll get that all fixed up.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to Ryan while we're waiting for the starting grid. Ryan Barber goes, I won't tell him so he doesn't get too excited. Well, I tell you what, I'm excited, Brian. I've got a P1 this morning. Quite easy win, actually, on my own behalf, but I won't say that to Jason Holdsworth. But we'll bring up the starting grid here for round number 7, the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. It is Justin Witcher off the pole. Scotty Rankin will be out of P2. Sam Katakuzanos out of P3. Adam Malone out of P4. Barry Neal will start out of P5, your teammate there, Paul. So good job by Barry Neal. Raymond Yeager out of 6, coming off the podium this morning. Dwayne Priest in 7th. Gary Wellman in 8th. Greg Spencer will start out of 9th. Andy Barber out of 10th. 11th position will be Sean Hart. Cade Donnelly out of 12th as we roll across the page. In the 13th position will be Ruben Phelps. Phelpsy out of Dunedin, New Zealand. We'll have Adam Malone there out of the 13th position, as I just need to do this for a second. I'll keep bringing that to you. Just bear with me. Ruben Phelps 13th. Aaron Dillon, out of the 14th position. Tristan Koch 15th. Ian Quast 16th. Brett Campbell 17th. John Quast 17th. Pete Matson out of 18th. Ash Nessa out of Pete Matson out of 19th. Ash Nessa out of 20th. Jamie Nickovis out of 21st. And Tommy Pritchard out of the 22nd position tonight. So we'll go to the green flag, and it will be Justin Witcher leading the way, but we do know, Paul, that, we're already green. Wow. So I thought they would have waited until they got through the final turn. Obviously, they have not got this sorted, because that's not really how we've seen the league start. But anyway, that's how it's done. Justin Witcher's got the jump over Scotty Rankin, Sam Katakuzanos. Those guys probably left sleeping because they were expecting to see the green flag out of turn number 3. But Justin Witcher's smarter. He's run a lot of laps around Phoenix Raceway, and he's going to set the pace early in this one and get up the front. But Scotty Rankin's got Sam Katakuzanos and Raymond Yeager all over the back of him at the moment. So these guys won't want to fight too hard too early. They need to try and focus on trying to get up to the back of Justin Witcher. And it looks like Raymond Yeager's decided it's his time. Early on in this one, just lap 2, I need to get past all this battle and try and make it way. Look how much Raymond is using on the entry of turn number 2 there. I'm used to saying it is turn number 3. Turn number 1. It is turn number 3. I'm so confused. But he's using a lot of inside there. But back to Adam Malone. Adam Malone coming off a really unfortunate result this morning. He started out of P number 3 or P number 4 and pretty much got taken out on the first lap. So Adam Malone's going to be looking for a good result tonight. But Justin Witcher still leading the way. He's got 0.6 of a second over Raymond Yeager in this one. Raymond slowly gaining up on Justin Witcher in this one. So this is a Pinnacle Esports Racing. A little bit of a strategy at the moment, I reckon, but it's funny. They're running a different livery. Justin Witcher in the blue and white. Raymond Yeager in the Sim Racing Edge entry. Justin Witcher just rolling out of that one and allowing Raymond to take the lead of this motor race. So this is interesting. Adam Malone sitting there in 4th. We've got Sammy Katakuzanos in the 5th position. Sammy's doing a great job. Good to see him there in the 4th position, Scott Rankin back there in 5th. But this is a big little battle. Scotty Rankin, we've got Barry Neal, Gary Wellman, Dwayne Priest, Greg Spencer. Pretty much the remainder of the field at the moment are part of this little battle, Paul. So the front drivers are pretty much bolted, but like you said, with the tyre wear, the fuel strategies and everything, especially Phoenix. Phoenix is a very technical track. It's not one that, we go back oval racing tonight, but it's not one that is a traditional oval, and you definitely need to manage your race car. So we do see Raymond Yeager, Justin Witcher, Adam Malone at the front at the moment, but as this green flag run does roll on, as Dwayne Priest, you can see there, was just opening his entry into turn number 2, and so it's going to be different how these guys manage their race. But at the moment, it is still Raymond Yeager. He's now put 1.2 seconds on Justin Witcher. So they're obviously going alternate strategies. I can say that because they are teammates and they're not going to do the same thing. It's the way they usually run, and they will do alternate strategies. So Raymond Yeager trying to put the fastest laps down at the moment, as we are now on board with Sam Katakouzenos in the 3rd position. He does have Adam Malone in 4th. We're looking at the comments. We're looking at the comments here in our live chats. Have a good race, fellas. I might be out for the season. Ruined my shoulder yesterday, but we'll tune in for all the broadcasts. So Troy Davidson, Paul, I can see there, he's had a little bit of an injury there on his shoulder, so he's out, which is really unfortunate because Troy Davidson was up in the top 4 of the championship in this one. He came into this round and this series with a couple of wins, so unfortunate there for Troy, but really great to see you here on the broadcast, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Troy's had a couple of podiums, and I think he's even had a win, so yeah, that's bit unfortunate there. Sammy Kay just getting the job done on Justin Witcher now for P2. So Justin slowly dropping back a little bit, maybe just trying to conserve those tyres, as we only got 1 tyre change, I believe.
This is definitely a tyre and a fuel race. 100% it is. And what we can see it is now at the front, Raymond Yeager, he's taken the all-out approach. He's trying to get the lead, and he's going to try and hold on when he has to double stint these tyres. So we'll see how that pays out for the 23 Pinnacle Esports racing pilot of Raymond Yeager. All these drivers through the mid-pack, it's pretty good for them to be there, but the more they fight at the moment, as we're on board with Andy Barber, the more they fight, it's still going to wear their tyres. So it's probably good for them just to get in their own little pace and try and let these cars sort of clear each other and just try and settle in, because we are here for 132 laps. A long way to go. We're only 13 into the 132 laps as we see a tyre lock up there. But at the moment, it is Raymond Yeager, Sam Katakouzenos leading this one. This is a battle now for 3rd and 4th. Adam Lone getting the job done there on Justin Witcher. Pete Matson looks like he's going to pit lane early in this one. So that's an interesting strategy there from Pete Matson, but he's definitely got a lot of damage there on the RayWhite Rural Gayndah car, because that's definitely not what a supercar needs to look like. But Raymond Yeager still leading the way, Paul. I'm going to actually leave it to you tonight. We do a lot of the InSim Esports Network trivia. I'm going to leave all the trivia to you tonight, mate. You can bring up all the trivia again. I'm going to throw you under the bus as you do on all the cameras. No, actually, no, I'll do the trivia. I can't do that to you. But
I was going to say, instead of your beautiful partner Prue doing trivia, it's now the beautiful, I don't know, beautiful broadcast partner Paul. Yeah.
You're going to give Prue a big head. You know, I know she's beautiful. She's absolutely stunning. And for anyone that wants to know, just jump onto my socials. You'll see that. But anyway, there you go, Prue. There's a little bit of a shout out for you. But yeah, no, you can go the beautiful partner Paul tonight, mate, and you can bring out the trivia. But I'm more than happy to help you, and we'll see how we go. As it looks like Brett Campbell's running the Appliances Online livery there. I saw that in our team chat. He usually runs the Aussie Esports livery, but he hasn't done that tonight because obviously he's excited about Chazzy Mostert getting the win at Bathurst today with Lee Holdsworth, and what a sensational drive. But there we go, the Appliances Online livery there of Brett Campbell. So it does look good, and I don't know if you had a look, Paul, when I did the NASCAR, because if people don't know, I'm actually getting Prue into the racing, and we've got another rig getting set up, and I did a paint livery for her, which is not the one she's going to run, but it was actually based on the Chaz Mostert livery. So good to see Brett run that tonight. Still a part of Aussie Esports, obviously, but not a bad livery to run tonight. Obviously, hopefully it has a little bit of luck for him tonight. But it's definitely getting racy now with Dwayne Priest. Dwayne Priest moving backwards in this one at the moment. Dwayne Priest, he's down 3 spots. He started out at P number 7. He's in 10th at the moment. But Andy Barber in that Southern Stars Esports racing team, you'll see that their liveries are a little bit different. They've gone a little bit more white there on their supercars. So Tiona Holiday Parks, Margaret Shannon down there in northern New South Wales from Tiona Holiday Parks. Looking a little bit different there for the Southern Stars Esports racing team, as we see Dwayne Priest trying to get the job done again through turn number 3. He's going to get that one done. But yeah, a little bit of a different livery there for the Southern Stars Esports racing team, as we see Cade Donnelly trying to make his way up the inside of Andy Barber early in this one. So you can see there is that that's Phelpsy, Ruben Phelps, trying to get the job done as well. Ruben Phelps coming to this one with no practice. He's just jumping in and getting the job done. And at the moment, he's in the 12th position. He has been a winner of the Australasian Supercar eSeries through this series so far. So don't be surprised to see Phelpsy get up to the top. But back on board with Scotty Rankin. He's in 7th at the moment. He started out at P2. So this is definitely a game of strategy. We've got 1.7 seconds up the road. Raymond Yeager's leading the motor race. He's got 1.7 seconds over Sam Katakuzanos at the moment. Raymond Yeager in that Sim Racing Edge Pinnacle Esports ZB Commodore showing the way with a clean set of heels early, but we know that this is definitely not how it's going to end up, because fuel strategy, tyre strategy, everything. Raymond's going for the early speed, and it's definitely going to hurt him at the back end of this race if it does go green, Paul. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers in behind him, how they're managing their race and how they come up with it.
Yeah, for sure, and you can see that gap there to Sammy K in the background. So that's 1.78 second gap there, and Adam Malone trailing a bit further behind. So a bit of even sort of gap almost between first and second and third. Maybe a little bit more to third, but everyone having a good clean start to this race, 24 laps in. So hopefully we'll get some green flag pit stops and no cautions, and we'll have a pretty quick race tonight.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case, but Pete Matson's still in pit lane, so he obviously had a date with the wall at some point. He's still in pit lane. We can see Ash Ness is in pit lane as well. We do see Ryan Barber saying should get Prue on the mic sometime for a chat. So I might have to speak to my beautiful partner Prue and see if she wants to come into the broadcast booth. I know you've spoken to Prue a lot, Paul, but I'm not sure whether you want to talk to her in the broadcast booth. We can't give her a big head.
Well, I don't know. She might have better dulcet tones than you, Aiden.
It's not hard. That's not hard. She's definitely a lot better looking for one, and she definitely has a better voice than me. So you might get to hear about the infamous Prue Gooding on the broadcast booth tonight, but we'll see. But we go caution for the first time tonight. So this is probably the best time. That's Aaron Dillon. He's ZB. Oh, no, he's in the Falcon. So it looks like his car's a little bit short. No, that's a Commodore. Sorry. It looks like his Commodore's a little bit shorter than what it should be.
Well, it's not a Falcon or a Commodore, Aiden. It's a Mustang.
Mustang, yeah, Falcon. Yeah, righto. I'm still living in the past. But his car's definitely a lot shorter. But I'll let him go through caution now as you go back to the simrigs.com, Simrigs, not simrigs.com, the simracermerch.com instant replay and see what brought out the caution. Aaron Dillon obviously involved in this one. So they're going through turn number 2. He's just had a bit of contact there with Dwayne Priest on the inside, and that's pretty much night done for Aaron Dillon. And in the background there, Cade Donnelly nearly involved in that one. Andy Barber trying to get around that one as well. So not a lot of room being given. And when you go below that yellow, it's not your prerogative. On the outside, it's not your prerogative to let the car up. And obviously, Dwayne Priest just wanted to push his way up. So that brought out the caution tonight. But while we go around caution, Ryan, I'm going to try and bring this to you, mate. I'm going to try and go and get Prue and see if she can jump onto the broadcast booth. So, Paul, just cover me for a second and I'll be right back.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll see Raymond Yeager, Sammy Kay. Ooh, very late entry there on Andy Barber coming into pit lane. Adam Malone and Gary Wellman opting to stay out. So that'll put them on a little bit of a different strategy here. Gary Wellman actually has been through pit lane on lap 27. So Gary has done a pit stop, so that's interesting. Adam Malone will be the only one who hasn't made a pit stop yet, so quite a different strategy there for Adam. And we'll have Adam Malone, Gary Wellman and Barry Neal, my teammate there, up into P3. So Adam's up 3 spots from his starting, and Gary Wellman's up 6 and Barry Neal up 2. Trivia question number 1. What's the Supercars podium from today, from Ryan Barber? Well, that's going to have me stumped because I didn't watch Bathurst, but I do know Mostert won, I think.
Well, Paul, I just need to jump in. I've got the lady of the moment, Prue Gooding, the most good-looking woman in iRacing, if I do say so myself. She's going to jump up and say hello to you while they're under caution. Ryan, this is just for you, mate.
Hi, Paul.
How you going, Prue?
Yeah, good. I have to give a shout out to Ryan, though. G'day, Ryan.
Yeah, there you go, Ryan. There's your shout out. And if you got any questions there, Ryan, you can just drop a question in the chat there for Prue. I'm sure she can answer that one. But we are going green once again. Pace car lights are out. How about you bring us to the green here, Prue?
Oh, goodness. You put me on the spot. I did pay Aiden a couple of dollars to say all those compliments about me. But yeah, it looks like here we go. We're getting ready to go green. We're taking over. We've got Adam Malone, Gary Wellman, Barry Neal, Justin Witcher, Ruben Phelps. Green flag. Yeah, and we're green, yeah, sorry. I've gone all shy, oh my gosh.
That was a great job there, Prue. So
Not really.
Right. Who's a better driver, you or Aiden?
Or iRacing, probably Aiden. Real life, definitely me. Definitely me. But yeah, he drives a bit like a granny on the real roads. And yeah, I prefer that I drive. Yeah, you just get in the car and drive it like you steal it. So, yeah. But yeah, definitely iRacing. I'm very new to it all and still learning all the buttons and, you know, how it all goes. So, yeah. But yeah, I do better when Aiden's not around me because he's just really hard on me and annoying. And yeah, but yeah, hopefully I'll be just as good as you guys one day soon. Yeah, I just don't have my own rig. I've got bits and pieces of it. Yeah, getting there. Yeah, so it won't be long before I give him a bit of run for his money with the iRacing.
Well, Ryan there saying that you got the balls in the relationship there.
Yeah, I'm the boss. Yeah, the balls. Yeah, balls. Yeah, maybe. I'll throw you back so everyone can enjoy the racing, not just my voice. But yeah, shout out to Ryan. Go Ryan.
Well, there you go, Ryan. So there's Prue jumping in the booth with us for a few minutes. And
I tell you what, Paul. If Ryan wanted to make a person feel the most uncomfortable as they've ever felt, he's just done that. And she reckons she's got bigger balls than me. Or Ryan says that. So I don't really want to talk about my appendage here on the Indecim Esports Network, to be honest. But I don't know what you're trying to say about Prue there at the same time, because if she's got bigger balls than me, I've got to have a hard look at my relationship. But we'll worry about that one. But thank you, darling, for jumping in and having a chat. I really do appreciate that. And I know Ryan just got off on that a little bit. He'll like that. He'll probably watch this back when he goes to bed tonight, and that could be taken on so many more levels, but that's not the way that I meant it. But we're still green here. Adam Malone's now leading the way over Gary Wellman, Barry Neal and Ruben Phelps. But there we go, Paul. We're coming to the end of our broadcasting, and we just go and make it a little bit rude again, as we do. So at least we're not talking about Samantha and other people up into the booth every time we talk to Derek Jacobs.
Big lock up there from Raymond Yeager. I'll get us back on track here. So
thanks, mate. That's why you paid the big bucks.
Ruben Phelps there on the back of Justin Wichita. I think Justin just made that move as well. But he's in a pinnacle sandwich at the moment. And Justin and Raymond definitely got some pace out there tonight, as we saw Justin drop back a little bit just to save a bit of tyre earlier in the race. But Adam Malone there leading the way. We've got Barry Neal and Gary Wellman having a little battle here for second place as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Raymond and Justin did have pace. Justin backed off early in this one and allowed Raymond to get what was nearly a 2-second lead. Now, Adam Malone up there into the first place. He hasn't gone through pit lane yet, Paul, so Adam Malone's still showing a lot of pace there in the Southern Stars Esports Racing outfit, but he's going to be off strategy with the rest of the drivers around him, so this will be interesting to see how he plays out. And Ryan just said, you mean my girlfriend, Samantha? Ryan, do you have a girlfriend called Samantha? Is there Samantha that you need to get on your Discord now and jump up into the broadcast booth? Because, mate, if you have a real life girlfriend called Samantha, don't name her out here on the Indecim Esports Network and not get her up there. Because, mate, if you want to throw people under the bus, we'll throw you under the bus too. So, even if you just change your voice and have one of those overlay things and say that you're a girl or something or whatever, but if you have a girlfriend called Samantha, well, I tell you what, Derek Jacobs will definitely want a part of that. But he's not in tonight. Well, we're not talking about that, but I know Derek Jacobs loves a bit of Samantha.
Well, there can only be one Samantha. She's sitting in the stands right now. Yeah, so...
yeah, there we go. He's taking a leaf out of Derek Jacobs' book. Hey, Ryan, you need to get your own joke, brother. Just saying.
Well,
just saying, mate.
I'm wondering now, who's the go-to man here for Samantha? Is it Ryan or Derek Jacobs?
Well, I tell you what, there might be a little bit of competition, and if we go from looks... I can't really go that because I've only seen Derek Jacobs, and he's got a teammate, a one-hand Tom Pritchard, who's not in tonight either. And with him having a name of one hand, he's probably not going to get Samantha either, because if he's using one hand, he's not going to get Samantha. Ryan Barber, a little bit too young. I'm sure he's old man Andy Barber, and Kylie is probably going to be saying, Ryan, pull your head in. But, yeah, not sure at the moment. But, Ryan, you're in the chat at the moment. Put your whether we say it, your ugly mug or whatever we say it, up into the chats, and we'll make our decision on who Samantha's going to choose in the virtual iRacing world in the stands. Will it be Ryan Barber or Derek Jacobs? But I tell you what, Adam Malone's definitely got Samantha's signature at the moment as he leads the way, a second ahead of Gary Wellman.
Well, even if Samantha does happen to choose Ryan there, Derek's the ladies' man as he is, so he's had Amanda and he's got Melissa, so he's got a couple of other girls to fall back on as well.
Prue just jumped on and asked me, she goes, who's Samantha? And I'm like, she obviously hasn't watched the broadcast, so this is how much she loves the Indecim Esports Network. But she does love it. She does all the trivia that I get wrong every week. So So Sam Katakuznos into pit lane at the moment. Oh, no, he's not into pit lane. Paul's just
He's-
thrown me up.
He's just down
the
low,
garden
and
path.
he's just down low there on the below the yellow there as he's made the move around Phelpsy. So the old live timing here, just throwing a little spanner in the works, saying he was entering pit lane, but he didn't.
Well, I have something to say here to Ryan Barber on his comment in the stream. And Kylie, if you're tuning in here on the Intersim Esports Network as his mother, or not sure, like seriously, get a rein in on Ryan, because Andy, I need to talk to you after this broadcast, because Ryan, that's I got nothing to that. We're just going to leave that one alone, aren't we, Paul?
Well, I was going to say, I know who would have the good box.
You did not say that. Anyway, let's go back to racing, as Prue says. Get back to racing. Adam Malone's still leading the way. He's still got that second over Gary Wellman. Barry Neal, your teammate, up there in third. Justin Witcher in fourth. Sam Katakuznos in fifth around Phoenix Raceway. I've literally lost it over Ryan Barber's comments. Like, Ryan, I know you're a young fella, but mate, I tell you what, your old man's going to have something to say to you tonight when he gets off the race, because I know he keeps you in check. I've tried to bring you up into the broadcast booth a couple of times, and he won't let you up here. But yet, you're definitely there having a few chats in the broadcast booth. You always do, but it's great to have you here anyway. And Kylie's now come in with the big laugh smile. So, Kylie, can you not do that? Can you go and rein your young man in check and just say, Ryan, pull your head in, mate, and at least do that and show me like a picture or something where you're slapping him around the head, because Ryan Barber, I tell you what, mate, have a bit of respect. This is the Intersim Esports Network. We're serious here. We're always serious. And Adam Malone leads the way. As you can see, I'll go back to serious racing as it is. Justin Witcher there on the outside of your man, Barry Neal. He's just holding that through turn number 2 at Phoenix Raceway.
My man, I don't have no man. I've got a teammate.
Not what Bruce said.
Yeah, good to see Barry back, and we do have a little bit of an announcement in the team there, but we hold off a few weeks on that one.
We can't do that tonight. We can't. Sorry, we're not making it about you. It's all about me. So we can't do. No. Of course, we need to. Whenever you want to, you do that, mate.
Well, I'll keep you in suspense, and we'll wait till after Christmas. Then we'll give you the Christmas presents.
Right. So Barry Neal and Paul Jackson's joining Aussie Esports, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the hot news, and I'm sure that's not actually the hot news. But anyway, we'll just roll with that as we are now 52 into 132. How quick's this one going, Paul? Ryan Barber into the broadcast booth again. Mum was watching the stream with me, and let me tell you, she had a laugh. Well, I'm just hearing shit in the background by Prue, so... not sure if she shit herself, but hopefully she didn't, because I might have to clean it up later. But anyway, we're definitely on fire here on the Intersim Esports Network. Let's go back to the racing. Ryan Barber's talking about having a good box over Samantha with Derek. We've got his mother supporting that type of behaviour, which we don't condone here on the Intersim Esports Network. My partner's shitting herself. Paul's talking about random things like, we got no idea. Are we actually talking about racing here, Paul?
Oi! Well, we're back to the racing here, and Justin Witcher making the move there on Gary Wellman. So Gary Wellman almost ending up in the wall, but getting a huge run on that outside. So possibly a little whoopsie there from Justin, maybe, and he's just conceded that spot back to Gary to do the right thing there. But
from what I was just thinking, it looks like Prue's did a bit of whoopsie too, but we won't worry about that. But Justin Witcher at the moment, he's still trying to get that done on Gary Wellman there. So Gary Wellman getting a good run on the outside. So Phoenix Raceway, we usually can see that outside line can work a little bit, not so much in the Cup and the truck cars, but here in the supercars, it can definitely help. But let's go on board with the 968 Team Bushfig Racing entry of Sam Katakouzanos. Let's take you on a couple of laps around Phoenix Raceway in the V8 supercar and see what it's like as he's got cars 3 wide in front of him here on the InduSim Esports Network. I see a couple of laps there around Phoenix Raceway. The big Baz, the big Barry Neal out of New Zealand, getting a bit of hip or shoulder there on the inside of Sam Katakouzanos. He's definitely playing for keeps there. Barry Neal, first time in a couple of weeks back here in the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCARS eSeries, and he doesn't mind getting his elbows out, and he's shown that again tonight. But Sammy K, definitely not allowing that to happen as Sam keeps that position at the moment over Barry Neal. But I tell you what, Adam Malone, after not going through pit lane, he's showing some good pace at the front. He's now extended that gap to nearly 3 seconds over Justin Witcher. Well, Paul's just thrown me under the bus there and goes, he's got nothing. So this is my perfect time to go back to the comments. Kylie's now tuned into the chat. Good evening to you, Kylie. It was a pleasure beating Andy today, just saying. But thank you for tuning into the chat. The things I walk in on in the kitchen. Well, hope there's not utensils involved. But anyway, I don't want to know what's going in your house, but I'm watching mute. Please don't mute it. Just jump it up there. You're really promoting your son to say some really weird stuff here on the InduSim Esports Network. Hope you're enjoying it. I know some of it's a little bit inappropriate, but hey, this is some of the final broadcasting we're doing for a while and we're having a bit of fun. But I tell you what, let's not take our eyes away from Adam Malone at the lead of this motor race. He's got Justin Witcher in second place at the moment. Adam Malone is now 2.7 seconds the better of Justin Witcher. Justin backed off early in this one. Raymond Yeager's back there in 11th after leading this one for the early stages. So,
well, I've got to jump in here.
Yeah, you can jump in, mate.
I'm going to jump in here because if I recall going back to Phoenix in the next gen cars, it was both Darren McKenzie and Adam Malone that just ran away from the whole field around here. So no wonder Adam's got quite the lead over Justin at the moment.
Yeah, but what we saw around Phoenix last time that we run this is there was a tyre wear issue. I remember that Darren McKenzie popped his front right-hand tyre. There was a fuel issue as well. So these Southern Stars guys were quick. They couldn't quite get it consolidated for a win, though. So there's a lot to play out and see how that happens at the moment, though. It is still Adam Malone leading the way. Barry Neal still trying to get the job done on Sam Katakouzanos there. He gets that one done now, so that he makes his way up into P number 3 from Atora. Oh, I don't know. I try to say it every time. Can you just say it?
I'll break it down a little bit. So
Aotearoa.
Al, as in like ouch. Taya, as in like Taylor or Taya. Roa.
Aotearoa.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, so Barry Neal for Aotearoa Racing. Hopefully he's not rowing and doing that tonight, because if he's rowing, it's probably going to be a little bit slow. But Aotearoa Racing, I've got to get the into it somewhere, because I'm sure there's a bit of a in the Maori or Kiwi meaning. I'm not sure whether I'm just making up crap, but I usually talk shit here on the Indocim Esports Network, and I'm doing it again tonight. So.
Oh, I thought you were just practicing your noises for the bedroom tonight there.
Oh my God, we're gone there again. Well.
That was a pretty poor effort there too, by the way.
You'll only hear it for the first 30 seconds, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, we're back onto the racing. Paul, Ryan's just jumped again on the broadcast booth as we are getting pretty much into this race really quickly. We're 68 into 132. Ryan's just jumped in and said, "Are you racing IndyCar tomorrow night, Paul?" And my instant response to Ryan is, he's got 2 rounds to try and wrap up that series. He's coming into the final 2 rounds tied with Julian Mukai at the moment. And I can say that if he's not, I definitely am. And I'm going to take you out so you don't win. So there you go.
Well, I was about to offer my services to Ryan for getting into him last week, and say if you want me to return the favour to Julian, then that's fine. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Last week was a night that I rue, because I love Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but I tell you what, my want over talent definitely did outdo me, and my talent did not shine. So, but great job anyway by Ryan for doing a good job last week. Not the quickest car, but that's all you need to do is try and rotate. Hopefully you can do some more truck racing, some more Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries racing if your old man does get off the rig and let you have a run in this. But yeah, it's been good to see you racing, Ryan. Good to see you here tuning in on the Indocim Esports Network. It's always good to have you, mate. Obviously, we are a little bit devastated to bring it all to an end here on the Indocim Esports Network for over the coming months, but I'm sure it's not going to be the end. And we are having a bit of fun. I know that we've spoken a little bit of rubbish here on the broadcast so far, but let's not take away anything from all the drivers, because it's a sensational series to bring to us. And Ryan just says, "Can't take me out when you are behind me, Aiden." I got so much I could say to that, but I'm not going to. So, yeah, it still is Justin. Now Justin Witcher's got the lead, as we saw Adam Malone had to blink and come into pit lane. So Justin Witcher's taken over the lead at the moment. He's got 2.8 seconds over Barry Neal. And Sam Katakouzanos there, just a further 3.5 seconds behind Barry Neal in the 3rd position. Sam Katakouzanos will make his way up in the later stages of this one with the different strategy. But I tell you what, Ryan, with I just need to tell you personally here on the Indocim Esports Network, mate, with a lot of the trash talk you're doing here tonight, I tell you what, you want to be fast tomorrow night, because Schultze's got something coming for you. He's got something coming for you. I've got no idea where tomorrow night is, and that's usually where I go better, Paul. I got no idea where tomorrow night is, but all I know is we're turning left. And the first time I jumped into the IndyCar series, I got a win by an absolutely astounding margin. So I tell you what, Ryan, yeah, dude, we'll wait and see. But anyway, it's not about me. It'll be fun anyway. What a great series on a Monday night. We'll be bringing that to you for the Global iRacing Leagues for IndyCar series on a Monday night going into 2022. But it's all about the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries at the moment. And it is Justin Witcher still at the lead. So your championship leader, he's definitely doing everything at the front here, Paul. He in a series we thought the season 2 would bring a lot more competition, and he really had to fight for the season 1 championship. He's still got to fight it here for season 2, but he's doing everything to go back to back.
Yeah, definitely. And just wanted to note here, so Adam Malone pitted on lap 68, and by that calculation, Adam is good to green. So, good to check out. So, Adam's made it a one stop tonight. He would have taken his tyres halfway through the race. So, all the other guys will have to still make a pit stop. But we've had a couple of stops in already, as we've had Gary Wellman in on lap 75, who's just come out in front of Ruben Phelps, who was in on 73, and Andy Barber pitted the same lap as Adam Malone on 68, with Jaeger and Nankovitz on 66 and 64 there. So definitely interesting to see that obviously the tyres are starting to let go around that midway as well.
They are.
But there's a few guys still out there, so it'll be interesting to see when these front runners here decide to pit, and just how much more pace they've got on those fresh tyres towards the end of the race.
Well, let's take the opportunity now. Let's have a chat to Adam Malone. I know he hasn't been up here on the broadcast booth. Let's just go back to him. Let's just go back to him at the moment and see where he's sitting. We don't want to throw him under the bus. We want to make sure he's in a good position to see Justin Witcher come into pit lane now. So let's just make sure he's in a good position. We'll go back to Adam Malone and see whether we can have a chat to him in the broadcast booth and see how his pit strategy's going. You are still on Barry there, Paul, as Barry Neal takes the lead of the motor race. But there we go. We're back on with Adam Malone.
I thought you were bringing him up into the booth, so I was waiting for you to bring him up.
I am.
So
I just wanted to see where he was, so he wasn't in a battle. But we'll bring him up into the broadcast booth. Adzi, Adam Malone, Southern Stars Esports Racing. Sorry to bring you up into the booth, mate. Keep concentrating on your driving. You're doing a great job tonight. You've turned this one into a one-stopper by the looks of it. How are you feeling in the number 4 Southern Stars Esports Racing entry? You able to get to the end on fuel, able to get the end on tyres? You good to go? As Adam Malone is not talking to us here on the Intersim Esports Network, so...
Well, I'll tell you what Adam probably wants to tell you, and that's get stuffed because he's concentrating on racing there.
There's no commitment there to our broadcast, but anyway, we'll move him back up into his Southern Stars Esports Racing channel. We tried, but we can bring someone else back down, because I know he'll love to talk to us. Don't know what I just did then. Can't do that. Anyway, change that. So we'll bring the man down. Kylie's tuning in. Ryan's tuning in as well. So we'll bring the man down into the broadcast booth. Andrew Barber, mate. Aiden up in the broadcast booth. Sorry to jump in while you're having a battle. You don't need to talk, mate. Just concentrate.
Yeah, copy, mate.
Stay in front of Brett Campbell there in the Chaz Mostert livery, not running the Aussie Esports livery tonight. But I tell you what, Junior and your partner, Kylie, they're into the chats tonight. They're being a little bit inappropriate, but you're doing a good job there in the number 5, doing a great job tonight. How are you finding your nights playing out? Adam Malone's got a pretty good strategy. Adam Malone's doing a great job at the front at the moment. He's got a good strategy. But how are you finding the number 5 Southern Stars Esports Racing entry, Tiona Holiday Park's car? How are you finding it? How do you think your race is playing out?
Oh, yeah, Adam and I, we just decided to split our strategy a little bit because there's 2 of us tonight. So we went a different way, and tonight's race is really about tyres and fuel. I had about 13% left on my first set, so this second stint really is about preserving the tyres and just driving nice and smooth and trying to get a good result.
Well, mate, you come off a good result this morning. You come home with a P4, something that could have been a P3, which what what was a smaller field, but still a good result anyway. And you've been doing some good results lately in the Southern Stars Esports Racing entry. And, mate, you're coming off a good result this morning, so it'd be good to see you have another nice, solid result tonight.
Yeah, mate, it's been a good day. Got a bit of a sleep in this morning and top 5 in the truck. So after enjoying Bathurst today, another top 5 would be great. But yeah, we'll just see how it all plays out. But just watching Brett flash me in the rearview mirror there as he's talking to probably Tristo in the chat. So
yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's not flashing you on purpose. But I just need to remind everyone who won the trucks this morning. Who did that? I'm not sure who that was. Who was that?
There's no comment there. So...
Yeah, no comment. Quiet.
Oh, I've got a question for Andy here. With this, look out there.
No, here's the commentator's curse. Let's not talk to Andy for a second. Let's let him concentrate. Let him do his thing.
Why do you slip Brett a fiver there just to go and take him out?
Well, you know, I'm not racing him at the moment, so he can have it.
I wouldn't do that. I like Andy. He's a good bloke, so I would definitely not do that.
So I should turn the favour then, Aiden?
Mate, you do what you like. We're just it might bring us a little bit of content here on the Indocim Esports Network. So if you want to punt him, you know,
give you a bit more entertainment, you reckon?
Yeah. Do what you like.
We need another caution, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But in saying that, I haven't heard you say who won this morning again.
I can't recall right now. I've got 1,000,001 going at the moment.
Yeah, I thought it'd be hard. It was a deep field, so yeah, hard to remember.
Well,
but
there is one question we have to ask.
There you go.
Who?
It was you.
Oh, thank you, mate. There we go. There it is. I won a race. Woohoo! But anyway, not about me. I just wanted to hear him say it. But anyway, Paul, back across to you.
Well, I could hear the struggle in his voice to even say that. It sounded like he was choking there. But there is one question, though, with a Bathurst 1000 coming up. I noticed you guys are in that one as well, and you're going to be racing against us. But I did see a certain comment there about an Aiden Schultz wanting to run with Darren McKenzie in an Enduro. So do you think that'll ever happen?
Yeah, I don't know. What's the deal with that? That was quite surprising, wasn't it, Paul?
It was. I actually need to say, I actually really do want to run with Darren in an Enduro. I don't know. That's just a thing. I've told Ruben that. I've told all the guys in Aussie Esports. I just like to do that one day, and I'd love to be able to do that. So there's definitely no hidden agendas here. But I tell you what, at the moment, though, when we go to the Bathurst 1000 in a couple of weeks' time, or probably, a week and a half's time, we won't have to worry about that because you're teaming up with Darren. So it'll be me and Paul versus you and Darren, let alone there's another 20 cars we need to worry about. But I'm sure that all me and Paul will be worrying about is beating the Southern Stars Esports racing team and trying to get in front of you guys. But I tell you what, with the practice times that we did yesterday, you've definitely got a quick car, but there's a couple of quicker cars there as well in practice as well. So I think from both teams, we've got a lot to learn and definitely need to pick our pace up a bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And, you know, we kind of split our teams with Adam and Tom. And Tom and DMAC have done Enduros before where Adam and I are kind of Enduro virgins. So it's kind of good to split it that way. So we got one experience for each driver.
Yeah,
but
the way that your son Ryan and everything's been talking about Samantha in the stands, I'm sure he and Derek are not going to end up that way in the next couple of weeks in the virtual world. But and I talk Virgin, by the way, anyway. But it will be interesting, though. It'll be a good run. But and yes, Ryan, because Darren is fast. Of course it is. We got all respect for all the drivers that we race against, and yes, Darren is a great driver, but I tell you what, Paul is too, and I look forward to running 1,000 kilometres around Bathurst with Paul. So looking forward to that one. But we do enjoy all the drivers. Everyone's good, and I'm actually looking forward to, Paul, seeing some of these people tuning in on the Indocim Esports Network actually see us steer a car and actually see that we go half all right.
Well, maybe we might need to stream it on the NSM network, our race, Aiden.
Oh, well, now we'll crash out. But anyway, Andy, thanks for joining us, mate. We'll let you jump up back with Adam and concentrate and not listen to our rubbish here on the NSM Esports Network. And hopefully you can be there on the podium and end of this one, mate.
No worries, mate. Well, I haven't put a scratch on it tonight, so the one that Brett just put on it is the first one.
Yeah, that's right down the left-hand side. We can see that. It's right across the Tiona Holidays Park livery, so Margaret's not going to be happy about that one. I'm sure you're going to have a chat with Margaret and say sorry about that one. But we'll put you back up with Adam, mate, and have a good run for the end of this one.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good call, mate.
And I tried to move him up there, and I just got that one wrong, so we'll do that again. All right, so we did that. So there's a little bit of random stuff again. God, we're full of random stuff tonight here on the NSM Esports Network. I can see Prue tuning in on the broadcast. She's sitting in bed at the moment talking to Aaron Dillon. Oh, she's on the lounge watching. She's in the background. She doesn't want to jump into the broadcast again, but oh, she's watching the Big Bash. So round one of the Big Bash tonight. So if we wanted to copy other broadcasts, we won't do that because it's all about the sim racing at the moment. But if we wanted to, we could say it's round one of the Big Bash between the Melbourne Stars and Melbourne Renegades. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We are going to concentrate on the racing at hand as we're on board with Ruben Phelps in P7. But Big Bash is on again, Paul, and I don't know if you're into your cricket, but Big Bash, it's an interesting time of year. Nice, short, fun type of cricket, something a little bit different. But I tell you what, over the Christmas period, we're all that tied up in the iRacing world. We don't really get a time to have a look at it.
Well, back when I was a young miner, I did
what,
actually...
1974?
Oh, I'm not that old, wasn't it? I was still inside.
You weren't even a twinkle in the eye back then, mate.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, back in those days, I actually played for a county's rep team in cricket, so wasn't too shabby.
Did you play left, right out? Did you play left, right out?
I was pretty far field out there, right out deep, so I could
throw
a ball.
I played left, right out.
I could throw a ball pretty far, so...
well, my joke is actually, and sorry, I'll let you finish that because I've been really rude, but my joke is I played left, right out. I was left, right out of every team. So I was no good at cricket. I actually was, though. I played for Queensland in cricket, but... that's my joke. But anyway, back to yours. So you did a bit of country cricket and all that type of stuff. Out in the deep, got a good arm on you. Tell us a little bit more about your cricket experience there, Paul.
Well, that was about it. So, yeah, me batting was all right, and me bowling was either...
That's what Tom Pritchard says.
Me bowling was either on point or it was wide, and more times it was wide than on point. So I tried to do a few fast balls, and the arm went a bit spastic and to the wide there. But no, it wasn't too bad. It was a bit of fun.
Well, give the viewers a little bit of insight into yourself, mate. It's pretty much calmed down now. 104 laps into 132. It is Justin Witcher leading the way of Barry Neal, Adam Malone, Sean Hart, Sam Katakuznos. Give the viewers a little bit of insight into yourself. Do you have real world racing experience? What do you run in the iRacing side of things in terms of your gear that you run? Where you're located? Like, give someone a little bit of an insight into Paul Jackson, because you haven't said a lot here on the NSM Esports Network. I seem to talk too much. So give people a little bit of an insight, because I'm sure everyone tuning in here on the NSM Esports Network, as much as they love to talk about the drivers that are on right now, and definitely tonight is all about that, but give them a bit of an insight into Paul Jackson and you know, what you do in your time and where you're located and how your iRacing experience and everything is, and whether you have real-world racing experience. Give them an insight into Paul Jackson.
Well, I think this will put everyone to sleep, but anyways, I guess I don't have actual race experience. I have been in a race go-kart before. What sort of started was I used to go to Speedway every Saturday night, Western Springs Speedway in Auckland, New Zealand, and I used to follow the midgets and the sprint cars and that, and then we also went to Waikaraka Park Speedway as well, which was stock cars, and stock cars as you know, sort of NASCAR stock car, but this sort of stock car is a crash and bash sort of stock car, so they look completely different, and one-seater thing, and you just basically take out your opponent. So that was always good fun watching, and the old caravan derbies as well. And
nothing wrong with the caravan derby, mate. That's always fun to watch on the hill, isn't it?
Yep. And every Saturday night we're at either one of the race tracks, and sometimes a few out of town ones when the bigger events were on as well. And my uncle was actually a co-driver for a rally driver. Did a few stints at one point in time, and so he sort of had the motorsport bug in his vein, and we went to Mount Wellington to the go-kart track in Auckland there, and one day we were there and used to go there from time to time on the weekend, just having a bit of a watch, and we they had an open day. We're in there in the pits and didn't even know, and they just said, "Oh, do you want to jump in the cart?" I'm like, okay, cool. So went around the outdoor circuit there in the kart a few times, and that was pretty good fun. And we used to go indoor karting and stuff a fair bit as well, every sort of couple months, and that was a bit of fun as well. And it's
pretty much the story of Paul Jackson.
Yeah, we another time.
Well, it's funny you said about indoor karting there, Paul. Sorry, you can finish that in a sec. Sorry, but it's funny you said about indoor karting. Ryan Barber and Andy Barber, Ryan Barber started down at the Pimpamar racetrack down in the Gold Coast of Queensland in the Four Strokes. And Pimpamar's a really good track here. It actually runs the Race of Stars before COVID happened. I actually won the Race of Stars at one point, but we won't talk about that. But that's where they started, and then they've gone up into the normal go-karting world. But I'll let you finish what you were just saying, mate.
Well, if you obviously you follow the V8 Supercars a bit, you'd know Pukekohe racetrack in Auckland there. So I went there and went around to one of the old HQ Holdens around in the track there as well a few times in the passenger seat. So that was a bit of fun as well. But never actually gotten behind the wheel myself in an actual race. One thing I'd love to do is I don't live too far from Winton, so I've seen you sent me a couple of videos about you with your Commodore, mate, driving around Winton, and then you sent me a photo or a video the other week about you going around Bathurst. So you're not far from some of the best tracks in Australian motorsport. Well, Winton's about an hour away from me, so went to a event called Holden's Last Lap at Winton Raceway. As everyone knows, a sad time for the Holden fans, and they put on this last lap, so all the Holden boys went out and took the old VL Commodore around the racetrack there a few laps, and also got to drive my mate's original BT1 cop car. It's all kitted out with the stickers and sirens and everything, and we were actually the pace car for the event, going around the track between races and stuff, so that was pretty fun.
Would have been, mate, would have been an absolutely amazing day, and especially with the end coming to Commodores in the V8 Supercar series, so to speak, as much as they're going to go to the Camaro. You've got a little bit of history there in your garage, mate, so it's something you definitely want to hold on to, and something I'm a little bit jealous about. Prue loves a Holden, and I'm a Ford man through and through, but either way, you always got to respect motorsport and respect the cars, and you got a little bit of history sitting in your garage there, mate.
Yeah, definitely. She doesn't get out too often. She used to run the streets around town on Friday and Saturday nights for a fair while with the boys.
Was that in 1974? Or?
That car wasn't even around in the end, so the car's as old as me actually. So both 88 series. So yeah, but, yeah, that was good times with the boys, and we all of us had the old VL Commodores around town and used to run the streets there.
Well, there's a bit of insight into Paul Jackson. It is Justin Witcher, Barry Neal, Adam Malone leading the way at the moment. I could give you an insight into me. But I feel like it'd be all about me, and I don't really want to do that. I'm sure a lot of these guys, but people tuning in here on the NSM Esports Network probably don't know a lot about me in the background. So not sure if I want to say any of that. I'll just let the driving do the talking. But
well, there was a Locked On Lads podcast that we got a bit of an insight into Aiden's life there. So you might be able to direct everyone to that podcast there, Aiden.
Yeah, you can go on to that. It was about a year ago when we started the NSM Esports Network Switch Up series. We had the pleasure of being on the Locked On Lads or Locked On iRacing podcast, and jump on and follow that if you don't know. So we've got a change for third at the moment. Sean Hart's getting the job done now on Adam Malone, Sam Katakouzenos in the background. Trying to get that job as well. But Locked On iRacing, it's not really Locked On Lads anymore, but Locked On iRacing, yeah, I had the pleasure of being on the podcast, and it was great trying to promote our series. When we first started the broadcasting, how good has it been? You know, how far we've come on our broadcasting. But yeah, if any of you are interested in a little bit of an insight into me and what I've done in racing and where the pedigree comes from, I don't mind letting you know a little bit about it. Obviously, Prue is better than me at everything that we do, whether that's life or racing. But yeah, I've done a little bit. Involved in karting for 25 years. Run on the national circuit for a very, very long time. 16 years of age, went across into the dirt side of things and ran midgets and sprint cars and did that quite successfully until had an incident with a certain driver that has won Bathurst 1000 and had a big incident there, and that pretty much tore me up. And then done a bit of Formula 3 across over in Europe and stuff like that. Only a 3-month stint, just a little bit of see how we're going. Run Aussie racing cars. I've been lucky enough to run at Bathurst in the Aussie racing cars as well. That's been fun, but outside of that, I only come into the iRacing world about 18 months ago. And I tell you what, it's definitely different to drive an iRacing car to a real world car, because you don't have that seat of the pants feeling that you get in car. You know, we've talked about butt kickers and stuff. I actually spoke to Andy Barber at length and Darren McKenzie last night or the night before about whether that would make a difference. Even DJ Derek Jacobs thinking whether that'd make a difference. But it's a definitely different world through the iRacing world, because you got to drive through your hands and you got to drive through your feet. Whereas in the real world, you drive through your bum. You feel how the car's going. So very different way, but I do have a bit of a racing pedigree, so to speak. But in saying that, I've got nothing really to show for it. So I'll let my iRacing do the talking, and that's why we're going back racing very, very shortly and see how we go. But tell you what, let's get back to the motor race, mate. Justin Witcher now leading the way. He's got 5.5 seconds over Barry Neal, Sam Katakouzenos in third, Sean Hart fourth, Ruben Phelps in fifth. So Justin Witcher, your championship leader, coming into this one. He backed off early. He let Raymond Yeager get to the front. Raymond's currently in eighth. He let him get to the front early in this one, and looks like he's going to get this job done.
Yeah, definitely. Justin's definitely worked out these cars on the ovals over the last season and this season. So definitely knows what he's doing out there to conserve the tyres, conserve the fuel, and make sure his car's where he wants it to be on that P1 at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. I'll let you call this one for a little bit. Let's go on board with Barry Neal. We've only got 4 laps to go. I'll just go get a drink of water and get ready to bring you the final lap of this one. And yeah, we'll go on board with Barry Neal here on the InterSim Esports Network and what has been a sensational, nice and clean race around Phoenix. All right, so I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, with lap 131 into 132. Justin Witcher, 5.6 seconds up the road of Barry Neal at the moment. Justin Witcher going to extend his championship lead at the front at the moment with this one. He's going to go back-to-back wins with white flag here for the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Justin Witcher still leading the way, Barry Neal. It's definitely been a race that could have been for Raymond Jaeger. No idea what's happened to him. Probably gone a little bit too hard, too early. But it is Justin Witcher as he makes his way out of the final turn and he gets the win tonight. Second place will be Barry Neal over Sam Katakuzanos as you see Sam make his way across the line tonight. So that'll be your top 3. Sean Hart will finish in a nice solid P4 tonight. Ruben Phelps with next to no practice coming home in the 5th position. Gary Wellman in 6th, Adam Malone in 7th, Raymond Jaeger in 8th, Greg Spencer the first car lap down in 9th, Andy Barber in 10th. Andy Barber, I thought he had something tonight and definitely one that could have been for Andy.
Maybe it was the hype up there from Pete Manson there. Hyping up Andy a little bit too early. He might have heard that one.
We'll definitely blame Pete. We'll blame Pete because it's good to not blame me because I usually throw people under the bus. Ryan Barber's still tuning in here on the broadcast, which is great. Good to see you, mate. Sprint car, yeah, do that, mate. Yeah, dollars are definitely a big thing, but they're a great thing to drive and Aussie racing cars, of course, good thing. But it looks like Justin Witcher's doing a Greg Murphy move. There's no one coming out to support him down pit lane at the moment. But
I know where he's going.
To victory lane. He's going to victory lane. Here it is. Justin Witcher up into victory lane. So he's done a little bit of research here around Phoenix. And that's the first time here on the InterSim Esports Network we've seen a driver actually make his way up into victory lane.
Well, they didn't turn on the lights for him. It's a bit dark over there.
Well, I tell you what, we got Barry Neal in the green room. We'll just wait for Justin Witcher and Sam Katakuzanos to jump up into the broadcast booth. I'm going to do you a favour, Paul. I'm going to let you talk to Barry in the broadcast booth, being the teammate. So all about you and Barry tonight. You can have a chat with him. I'm not going to intervene with that one. But Barry Neal up into the broadcast booth in a second. I'll just move Justin up into the green room. And Sam Katakuzanos, we'll bring him up into the green room as well. And I don't know why I just didn't bring them all into the broadcast booth, but anyway, we'll do that now into the broadcast booth. So we're doing that. Sam Katakouzanos into the broadcast booth. Scotty Rankin sitting down there in the green room as well. Not sure what he's doing there, but we won't talk to Scotty at the moment. But we will start off with your third place getter tonight for round 7 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. Sam Katakouzanos, good evening to you, Sam. P3, pretty uneventful race to be honest, but nice P3 nonetheless, mate.
Uneventful? Are you sure? I had the most fun in all week in this race. It was pretty awesome. And I was happy to hold on to the 3-2 after, I don't know what the hell happened. My tyre strategy, did I hold on to my tyres for too long? But falling back 11 seconds, yeah, that was a surprise. But to stay on podium, yeah, I'm happy with that.
It was pretty uneventful from a broadcast perspective. But I tell you what, when you watch it back, you had the pleasure of hearing Prue in the broadcast booth. So you'll get to have a chat with Prue or hear Prue. But from a racing perspective, it was pretty uneventful in terms of incidents. But it just goes to show the quality of drivers here on the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries and exactly what you guys bring every week, week in, week out, because we say uneventful, but us people that are racing nuts and love racing, we love the strategy of it and how it all played out. I know you from a driver, it probably wasn't as uneventful as we say, but mate, P3, did you think you had anything for Barry and Justin at the front there?
Not towards the end of the race. No way could I get that gap, what was something like 13 seconds, down to competing with them. Yeah, my brain still is a bit fuzzled with I thought it was going to be a fuel strategy, but then the yellow came out and I'm like, I'll take fuel, and then I'll probably take tyres when I run low on fuel. But the degradation was so much, I actually decided to stop waiting for the fuel to run out and come in at about, I think, lap 80 or thereabouts, and take fuel, take tyres, and take it home. But yeah, I don't know what I could have done different to reduce that 11-second gap, but nevertheless, the racing on track was pretty awesome because of the different, different strategies, different people with different tyre and fuel, and sometimes I was easily being lapped and overtaken because my tyres were crap, and then other times it was my turn to have a go, and yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because we spoke to Andy Barber up in the broadcast booth mid-race, and when he come into his pit stop and took his tyres, I think he had about 15% on the front right. So it definitely was a tyre strategy race, fuel race. We saw that definitely tonight. Justin Witcher obviously getting the win, but we saw that tonight. Raymond Yeager leading it early. Different strategies, everything played out differently. So the way that drivers managed that strategy definitely allowed them to be in contention for the race. But nonetheless there, Sam, mate, it's good to see you back up on the podium. Always there. You're doing a lot of IndyCars lately. You're doing a lot of other things. Always a good racer, always quick, and good to see you up there for P3. So big shout out to everyone involved tonight there for the 968 Team Bushfink Racing entry of Sam Katakouzanos.
Thank you. And just as a bit of info, at the end of my race, my last set of tyres, I was down to 44, 43 and 71 for my tyre wear. So, yeah, less than half wear on my tyres.
Well, maybe need to drive it a bit harder. But anyway, you can always see that for next time. But, mate, congratulations. Big shout out to your sponsors, mate. Give everyone a big plug.
Just interesting sports for broadcasting this. Australasian eSports for running the series. Raymond Yeager for heading the crew. And Team Bushfink Racing for basically giving me information, advice, tips. They're a great bunch of drivers, and yeah, I'm happy to be with them.
No worries at all. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your third place tonight for round 7 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. It was the 968 there of Sam Katakouzenos. It moves us straight across to the second place getter tonight, Barry Neal. I told you, Paul, it's all about you. You have a chat with your teammate, Barry. Mate, it's all across to you.
Well, I chat to my teammate all the time, so I thought you might like to have a chat with Bazza, but
No, he doesn't like me, Barry. So we won't do, no. It's all about you, mate. Have a chat with Barry, and it's all about you.
Well, good P2 there for the team tonight. Good to see you back in the car in the V8 series. How'd you find the tyre wear tonight? That was one of the big things that I did think would be an issue tonight. So how were your tyres tonight?
Yeah, no, I found them. I had no idea what to do. I didn't have any practice, so I took it really easy to start with, and I had no idea how they were going to wear. And I was kind of running around doing 28.4s and 28.5s early on, and everyone was taking off, and I was wondering whether I was being too cautious and not pushing hard enough. So when I pitted for that, when that yellow came out, I pitted for fuel, and I thought I'll be able to see how much tyre wear I've actually had. So I pitted, and it was kind of like 89, 92 or something. And I was like, what? It hasn't really used any in 30 laps. So I decided then that I could probably push a bit harder, because I was really scared of, because of no practice, that I'd just wear my tyres out. So I gave it a bit longer, and I thought that I really didn't have the speed, because I'd taken it so easy early on to get Justin in that. So I thought what I'd do was I'd run as long as I could until I started really losing time, and hopefully have the freshest tyres in case there was a yellow at the end, but there wasn't, so I couldn't really catch. But it was good. That last tyre stint, I was able to push a bit harder and do a lot of good consistent laps.
Yeah, well, we did see that you're one of the last cars to pit for tyres there, and did see that would have helped a little bit on the pace as well towards the end of the race, as Adam Malone decided to make it a one-stop race for himself, and he was looking very fast at the front of the race early on when he didn't decide to pit under that yellow caution, and took his stop around lap 68 or something, so trying to break the race in half there, and obviously the tyre wear just a little bit too much for him. But you think running later, or leaving it till like the last sort of possible moment as your tyres were dropping off there to pit, obviously gave you that edge for second?
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like, I definitely am really glad I pitted after 30 laps to see what the tyres were like. I probably ran it a bit long with that set of tyres. I probably should have. I started getting, I even had a 29, and a couple of like mid to late 28s, which was really too slow. I should have. But even if I'd come in earlier, I still wouldn't have been able to catch Justin on. He was way too quick.
Yeah, definitely. Justin's, as I mentioned, Justin's got these cars worked out from last season and this season, and definitely knows what he's doing to make those tyres last in the fuel strategy as well. So we on the broadcast, if you go back and watch this a bit later, we might have had a bit of an onion news section there, as Aidan thought we were joining Aussie or esports there, but
no, I did not think that. I was just throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, well, that's why I see onion news. See, so anyways, good P2 tonight, and give you a shout out to the sponsors as well.
Yeah, no, thanks to Aotearoa Racing, MRX Race Sims, and you guys for putting it on, and Raymond and the crew for providing us a place to go racing when we feel like it.
Well, it's good to see that Barry can actually say Aotearoa, because I can't, and I just think I learnt how to say it after nearly a year. So There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Your second place getter tonight, the 22.
That was a pretty good run there, then, Aiden.
I thought it was all right too, to be honest, Aotearoa. But
You're getting better.
yeah, I'm going all right. But your second place tonight, the 22 from Aotearoa Racing, Barry Neal, out of New Zealand, the northern island of New Zealand. Ruben Phelps, obviously my teammate. He's in the southern island, but it was definitely the northern island that reigned supreme tonight.
Actually, I live in the South Island as well.
Oh, well, okay, you live in the South Island. I thought you were in the Northern Island. Well, there we go. I've just learnt something too. So I learnt how to say Aotearoa Racing, and you're in the South Island. So I'm
You could learn how to say the South Island, Te Waipanau.
Oh, no, that's way too hard, mate. Let's not get too far, mate. You've already taken my race number because I'm usually 22, and let's just not put the cart in front of the horse, yeah? Let's just baby steps here on the InterSim Esports Network, Barry. But great job tonight, mate. Sensational driver, sensational result, and well done tonight. But your second place getter tonight was the 22 of Barry Neal. But hang on, I just need to... Yep, I'm folding out the chair for Justin Witcher.
You left them standing all that time. What are you doing? Come on.
Oh, mate, Justin Witcher, first place tonight. Absolutely amazing drive. Raymond Yeager, he went hard early. I said on the broadcast you were going to run different strategies because that's what you do at Pinnacle Esports Racing. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Come into the round with quite a substantial lead. Not the biggest field compared to what we're used to here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries, but in saying that, Bathurst Day, probably a few brewskis under some people's belts, but mate, P1 nonetheless, you definitely extended the lead at the top of the championship, and you're going to, at this rate, and there's a long way to go, you're in a good position to go back-to-back. But what do you put it down to getting the W tonight? Because I thought Raymond had something for you, obviously Sam and everything through the race, but we didn't speak about you a lot during the race because you backed it off early, and then by the time we get to the end of the race, you were 5.5 seconds down the road.
Thank you. Put it down to the white wheels, the white boots. Changed it over back to white last week, won that race, and kept them this week, and we're here again. So I don't think it's got anything to do with me. I'm a bit superstitious like that. But with Raymond, he wanted to go, and I said, "I'll go. Go for it." And I was we did discuss that tyres were going to be an issue towards the end. So on that first pit stop at lap 30 odd, we had a look, and I think I was at about 89%, and Raymond was down at like 60, 65. So that gave us a real good gauge on how hard you could go for how long and where you'd end up at.
Well, it wasn't really a race that probably had a good gauge because, and this is no disrespect to you win tonight because you did a great job, but Kay Donnelly not there, Troy Davidson not there, Simboy's car's not there apart from Aaron Dillon. He got caught up in a thing early. Probably a little bit of a suppressed field compared to what you used to, but I'll tell you what, to get a championship done, it doesn't matter. You need to be there and you need to win. And you've now gone back-to-back. You've gone from road at Miami to win that one, and now you've gone to back at Phoenix. You definitely know how to steer these cars, and you're getting the job done, and you're probably going to go back-to-back here. And I'm probably going to throw you under the bus now, and you probably won't finish another race for the next of the season. But you're definitely doing a good job. There's something about you and these supercars around these tracks. You're getting the job done, mate.
Yeah, like you said, there was a few missing tonight. Simboy's guys are always up there, and they give you a good race. Barry when he's in. And like the Southern Stars boys are always there or thereabouts. So, it was a bit of a lower field, obviously, which I think probably caused a lot less cautions. But yeah, like I keep saying, we just take 1 week at a time. But no, I just tonight sort of clicked. I think we sort of got the strategy pretty well spot on by guessing it, really.
What are you...
Sort of knew if we were about 28.2s, you could keep your tyres underneath you, and it was a good pace. So, yeah.
What do you think of the new layout at Phoenix? Do you think that may have been an issue for some of the guys if they haven't done a lot of laps around the new layout?
Well, I personally love it because I won a truck race here a few weeks ago. So since they've changed it, I've done all right. But yeah, I don't know.
But in saying that too, sorry to cut you off, Justin, I need to just second that. What do you think? Excuse me. What do you think of the start? Because usually the start at Phoenix comes down out of the now turn number 2, and the pace car comes in out of turn number 2, but you don't actually get the green flag until you're out of turn number 3. And I saw that early in, like off the first start, you accelerated early down the back stretch. And do you think that caught people out a little bit?
Yeah. There's a... Well, it's pretty easy to give away all my secrets, but there is a rule in there that says that it's on the lead car, not the green flag. Starts and restarts. So, yeah, I just thought I'd have a crack down that main straight or the back straight and try and catch people off guard because, yeah, when you have everyone backed up and you go through that dog leg and you can end up 5 wide, it just turns into an absolute mess. So I thought, well, if I can break everyone up early, just go for it. Hopefully, like I said, caught everyone off guard and sort of spread everyone out a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely different with the new Phoenix layout. I like it personally, the same as you. Like, it didn't change the track. The track's still the same, but it's a lot different having the start-finish line coming out of what used to be turn number 1 as opposed to now being turn number 3. So it's a lot different, but good job done nonetheless, mate. You literally... You're a superstar when it comes to the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Let's not put it lightly. You're the reigning champion. You've now gone back-to-back with 2 wins. You're at the top. You've extended your championship lead. The only way you're going to lose this is by me and Paul joining next season. But did you like that one? No, in all seriousness, mate, absolute superstar, doing a great job, and big shout out to everyone involved, mate, because whatever you're doing in these cars around these tracks, you're doing it right, and I'm sure there's a lot of people you want to thank.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the sponsors for the team, Pinnacle Esports, 186, Speech and Language Development Australia, Witcher Electrics, Carworks, and our main sponsor, the Sim Racing Edge, Raymond, Greg, Matt, Nige, teammates at Pinnacle. Raymond and Greg for putting on the Australasian Supercar eSeries. I'm just sort of help out very minimal, but those boys do a hell of a lot of work to get this going. You two boys at Intersim for the great broadcast you put on every Sunday night, and RayWhite, Gayndah, the major sponsor of the league.
No worries at all. It's our absolute pleasure bringing all the action here on the Intersim Esports Network in what will actually dry up in the next couple of weeks. But I tell you what, we can't wait for bringing all the remainder of the action here for the RayWhite, Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries and the other leagues that we do broadcast. But once again, big congratulations to your winner again tonight. It is Justin Witcher, your reigning champion, the car number 1, and your winner, Justin Witcher, for round 7 of the RayWhite Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries from Phoenix Raceway. But Paul, I'll tell you what, that winds up another night of Australasian Supercar eSeries racing. Only one caution tonight. I know we probably got a little bit off tangent with a little bit of fun and different things that we were talking about on the broadcast. But I tell you what, all the drivers didn't disappoint tonight.
Definitely not, and for those tuning in tonight, you let the beans spill out the hat there. So obviously you mentioned next season that you and I will be jumping in the cars once again. So as we had mentioned that we're winding up the broadcast for the... That's
right. I didn't mean to do that, but it was on another broadcast, so my apologies.
Yep. So yeah, we're winding up the rest of the season with the guys, and then we're back into the driver's seat. So there will be some livery announcements coming soon, and that. So be tuned into our Facebook pages, obviously on our Aotearoa Racing Facebook page, and I'm sure if you guys are updating your liveries as well for next season or not, Aidan?
From the supercar thing, we haven't really spoken about it, but you can catch us on Aussie Esports. Of course, me on my personal streaming page of Ape Sports, AP Esports Racing. You can see that streaming as well, but haven't really thought about the livery side of things when it comes to the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Obviously, our big focus is on the ANSCAR Cup, and of course, I'll be running my own leagues as well through the Global iRacing leagues. But livery-wise, not sure for the Australasian Supercar eSeries, but if you do want to follow us and see what our racing's like, not sure who's going to be broadcasting the Australasian Supercar eSeries next season, excuse me. But if you do want to follow us personally and see how terrible we do when we get into the racing seat, you can follow us. Go on to PJTV through Facebook and Twitch, and you can see Paul run around. You can see me through AP Esports, and of course through our teams, Aotearoa Racing, and of course Aussie Esports through the Facebook pages as well, if you want to have a look at that one. So you'll see that, but I can tell you, Paul, it's not definitely stopping here from a broadcast perspective. We will be broadcasting a lot more moving into the future, so it's definitely not going to stop, mate.
Definitely not, and looking forward to the exciting times ahead, but also looking forward to more time in the seat as well.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to having a run, looking forward to putting you in the wall and doing all that type of stuff. So, looking forward to that one, but no, with all due respect, it's going to be good, but let's not get too nostalgic at the moment because we've still got a lot of rounds to bring to you here on the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. We did bring to an end to you the other night the Blendline TV Pro Car GT Championship. We've still got the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series to bring the remaining rounds to you before we get to the end of the year and moving in to the Christmas period. But that does bring to an end round 7 of the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the InterSim Esports Network. Your winner was Justin Witcher. Coming home in P2 was Barry Neal in 3rd position, Sam Katakuznos. But it doesn't stop here on the InterSim Esports Network. We will go live on Friday night. We'll be bringing you race 10, round 10 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It will be from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for 134 laps. It'll be live here on the InterSim Esports Network from approximately 7:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. But then we'll be back next Sunday night here for the RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. We've gone Phoenix Raceway, we'll go to Super Speedway Racing, and we'll go to the Nashville Super Speedway for what will be round number 8. You can see all the action live here on the InterSim Esports Network from approximately 6:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 7:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. We look forward to bringing you all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network for what was a sensational night for round number 7 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. And like I said, your winner and championship leader and reigning champion, Justin Witcher, coming away with the chocolates tonight. But from myself, Paul, and everyone here at the InterSim Esports Network, we thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed all the action. We look forward to seeing you on Friday night for the simrigs.com next NASCAR Next Gen Series.